These are the 25 biggest celebrities fallen from fame. Number 25, MC Hammer. It's Hammer time! Despite his success with songs like Can't Touch This and Too Legit to Quit in the mid-90s, MC Hammer fell hard when he filed for bankruptcy in 1996 after owing roughly $13 million in debt. Hammer has since found his calling and runs a successful ministry. Number 24, Ray Caruth. In 1997, Ray Caruth was a wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers before being found guilty in 1999 for hiring a hitman to have his pregnant girlfriend murdered when she refused to have an abortion. He was sentenced to 18 to 28 years in prison. Number 23, Michael Richards. America's beloved Kramer wasn't so beloved in 2006 when during a stand-up performance he was filmed screaming racist remarks to the audience in response to a group of hecklers. He apologized on The Late Show with David Letterman, and some have forgiven him. Number 22, Mike Tyson. In 1992, Iron Mike was convicted of rape and sentenced to 6 years in prison. He was released after 3 years and returned to boxing, only to have his license revoked after a certain incident involving some ear biting. Number 21, Jim Bakker. A minister with the Assemblies of God and a televangelist, Bakker was a con man, taking his parishioners for all they were worth by selling lifetime memberships to them, promising them rewards they would never see. He was also discovered to have paid a female employee hush money after she accused him of rape. Number 20, Adrian Peterson. Once considered to be one of the best running backs in NFL history, Adrian Peterson was indicted for reckless injury to a child after beating his son with a switch that resulted in bleeding. He is no longer allowed to play in the NFL. Number 19, Michael Vick. In 1997, this Pro Bowl quarterback was implicated in a dogfighting ring and was convicted of running and promoting the dogfighting on his own property and personally killing dogs who were not winning. He served 22 months in prison and eventually returned to the NFL. Number 18, Phil Spector. Famous singer, songwriter, and producer Phil Spector was arrested for murdering Lana Clarkson in 2003 at his home after the two had been arguing. He is currently serving a life sentence in prison. Number 17, Roger Clemens. Often hailed as one of the greatest pitchers of all time, Roger Clemens was accused of steroid use in Jose Canseco's autobiography, Juiced. He faced a trial for perjury after denying steroid use that ended in a mistrial. There were also allegations that he cheated on his wife several times. Clemens has never been inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Number 16, Leif Garrett. Pop icon and teen heartthrob of the 70s, Garrett had the world at his feet. However, extensive drug use led to his fall from stardom. In 1979, Garrett caused a car crash that left his best friend crippled. This wasn't enough to get his addiction under control, and he still struggles to this day. Number 15, Hugh Grant. This handsome actor has been the subject of more than one salacious tabloid article. He was arrested in 1995 for having sex with a prostitute in his car. At the time, he was dating Elizabeth Hurley, who stood by her man throughout the whole ordeal. He apologized on The Tonight Show, recognizing that it was a bad mistake. Grant and Hurley separated in 2010. Number 14, Jerry Lee Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis was doing great, worldwide fame and popularity, until he married his 13-year-old cousin, once removed, when he was 22. After that, he was shunned by the music industry and his career plummeted. He made a small comeback in the late 60s when he began a country music career. Number 13, Tonya Harding. We all know the story of Tonya Harding. Harding was up against Nancy Kerrigan at the 1994 U.S. Figure Skating Championships when her ex-husband came out of nowhere and smashed Kerrigan in the knee with a metal baton after practice. Harding later pled guilty, but only to hindering the capture of the attackers. She's formally been banned from all U.S. figure skating sponsored events for her lifetime. Number 12, Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman, who played the adorably lovable Arnold on Different Strokes, has had a rough go of it. After the series ended, he sued his parents for mishandling his earnings and was essentially left penniless. He's had to take odd jobs and pawn his possessions to pay the bills and pay off his debt. Number 11. Ray Rice. When a video was released showing Ray Rice knocking out his wife and then dragging her unconscious body out of an Atlantic City elevator in 2014, the world just about lost its mind. A grand jury indicted Rice of third-degree assault charges, but the charges were later dropped. He's again free to play football, but has not been signed to a team since. Number 10. Amanda Bynes. Once a Disney sweetheart, Amanda Bynes had everything going for her. She was young, talented, and on the verge of great things. However, bizarre behavior coupled with trouble with the law has forced her career to take a nosedive. After a series of erratic behavior, Bynes was placed under psychiatric evaluation and later released to her parents. She is now keeping a lower profile and attending school for fashion design. Number 9. Paul Reubens. In 1990, everyone's treasured Pee Wee Herman was arrested for indecent exposure at an adult movie theater in Florida. The media had a field day with the story, and even though he pled no contest and maintained his innocence, reruns of his show were canceled and his toys were pulled from the shelves. Many celebrities and the public stood by Reubens, and there's even a new Pee Wee movie dropping soon on Netflix. Number 8. Oscar Pistorius. Although being a double amputee, Pistorius competed in the Olympics where he won gold medals. His glory days came crashing down on Valentine's Day 2013 when he shot and killed his girlfriend, model Riva Steenkamp. Pistorius claimed he thought she was an intruder, but after a lengthy trial, he was found guilty and sentenced to just 5 years. Number 7. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was once considered the best running back in football history, but was arrested for the murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman in 1994. His trial became a media circus and ended with a not guilty verdict heard around the world. Whether you agreed with the O.J. verdict or not, you could feel the weight of the decision as it came down on all those involved. Although a free man at the time, O.J. has since been convicted of other charges and is being held in prison until at least 2017. Number 6. Mel Gibson. This unstable actor made headlines in 2006 when he made very disparaging anti-Semitic remarks to a police officer who pulled him over for drunk driving. In 2010, he was in the news again when a slew of phone calls were released between Gibson and his girlfriend. In the recordings, Gibson can be heard verbally assaulting the woman in an endless rant. Number 5. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods seemed to have it all. He was the golden boy of the golfing world and had a beautiful wife to boot. And then in 2009, he was accused of having an affair, and once he was accused of having one affair, a dozen other women came forward. He briefly dropped out of golf and lost several sponsors. Number 4. Joe Paterno. Penn State coach Joe Paterno was dubbed the greatest college football coach in history. Then, in 2011, his defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky was arrested for committing several acts of child abuse. It was later uncovered that Paterno knew about the abuse, alerted his supervisor, and then did nothing, allowing Sandusky access to Penn State facilities and to children. Paterno was fired and died soon after. Number 3. Aaron Hernandez. Having had his share of trouble with firearms and the law, Hernandez's lifestyle was bound to catch up with him eventually. In 2013, this tight end for the New England Patriots was indicted for murder. He was immediately released from his contract with the Patriots and went to trial. In April of 2015, he was found guilty and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Number 2. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay. As a child, she was praised for her natural acting talent, and everyone predicted big things for her in the future. Unfortunately, her future has dealt her a very different hand. Alcohol, DUIs, drugs, and a litany of legal issues has turned the once feisty redhead into another child star cautionary tale. Although she's acted in a few duds and has done some theater, Lindsay is definitely not the it girl everyone expected. Number 1. Bill Cosby. Talk about the mighty falling. Bill Cosby was once called America's dad and was so beloved by the public that the recent news of his sexual abuse towards women has thrown everyone for a loop. Over 50 women have come forward alleging that they were all drugged and abused by Cosby. There are still those who stand by Cosby and believe in his innocence, But the fact remains that we will never be able to look at Bill Cosby the same way again. Did we leave a fallen star off the list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching!